Hey there, and welcome. So today, we're doing something a little different. We're not just digging into some old psychological theory, we're actually unfolding a map of an entire human life. We're talking your life, my life, all seen through the eyes of Erik Erikson, one of the most important thinkers of the 20th century. So, let's just dive right in and see what this is all about.
You know, this one line right here, it just nails the entire idea. It's this concept that our lives aren't just about the years passing by. They're about a series of challenges, of transformations. And with every single challenge we face, we don't just get older, we actually become more of who we're meant to be.
So the official name for this is psychosocial development. And what makes it so revolutionary, so powerful, is that, well, a lot of other theories kind of stop at childhood. But Erikson, he argued that we are always evolving. We're constantly being shaped by our social world from the moment we're born to our very last breath. And here it is. This is our roadmap for the whole journey today. Now, I know what you're thinking. Whoa, that's a lot to take in at once. But don't worry about memorizing it. We're going to break it down piece by piece. This lays out all 8 stages, the big conflict in each one, and the strength, or virtue, we can walk away with. Think of it like the master plan for a human life. And to make this feel real, we're going to follow one person, let's call her Aida, through this entire journey, right from the very beginning.
So, our story starts with Aida as a tiny baby. Her whole world is just a mystery. It's warm, then it's cold, it's loud, then it's quiet. She cries, and a gentle hand appears. She reaches out, and someone is there. This is the very first challenge, the very first gate she has to pass through.
And this is the question at the absolute core of her being. She's asking, is this new place safe? Can I count on anyone? Will my needs be met? And the answer to that really big question depends completely on how consistent and reliable her caregivers are. Every hug, every feeding, it's all building a foundation.
And right here, this first challenge sets up a pattern we're going to see over and over. Depending on how things go, Aida can develop one of two things. If there's consistent, loving care, she builds a foundation of trust. And that trust blossoms into hope, this deep-seated belief that, you know what, the world is a pretty good place. But if that care is spotty or just not there, the opposite takes root, a fundamental mistrust that can lead to a lifetime of anxiety.
Okay, fast forward a couple of years. Aida's a toddler now. She's walking, she's talking, and she's definitely discovered her favorite word, no. She is climbing her own little hill of autonomy, wanting to do everything for herself, whether it's picking her own spoon or trying to put on her own shoes.
So this becomes her new mission in life. Am I capable, or do I always have to have someone else do it for me? This is that crucial time where she's testing her limits, pushing boundaries, and figuring out what she can actually do on her own.
Now, this is a big one, because it's where she develops the virtue of will. If Aida is encouraged to explore, to try things safely, she develops confidence. She starts to believe, hey, I can do things myself. This builds her willpower. But if every time she tries something she's told no or she's criticized, it can lead to a core feeling of shame and doubt, making her question her own abilities for years.
Aida's a preschooler now, and her imagination is just exploding. It's like this vibrant garden. She's building massive sandcastles, she's fighting off dragons with a cardboard sword, she's creating entire universes right there in her living room.
At this point, she's not just testing what her body can do, she's testing her ability to initiate things, to make up games, to lead her friends, to have an idea and make it happen. She's really asking, is it okay for me to be a creator in my own world?
And how the adults around her react is absolutely critical. When her crazy ideas are encouraged, she develops a sense of initiative, which then hardens into a sense of purpose. She learns her ideas matter. But if she's constantly told she's being a nuisance or making a mess, that initiative can sour into guilt, making her hesitant to ever take the lead again. And then school happens. Suddenly, there's a whole new world of tasks to master. Aida's life is now about getting math problems right, working with a team in sports, learning an instrument. This stage is like a forge, where all her effort and practice get hammered into actual, real-world skills.
So, the big conflict here is all about feeling capable. Every homework assignment she finishes, every goal her team scores, it all builds a sense of industry, which leads to the amazing virtue of competence. Aida feels like she can get things done. But if school is just a constant struggle, or she's always being compared to others, it can lead to this awful feeling of inferiority, this nagging belief that she's just not as good as everyone else.
All right, now we hit the teenage years, the turbulence.
Erikson describes this stage as wandering through a fog of mirrors. Every mirror Aida looks into shows a different possible version of herself: the athlete, the artist, the rebel, the scholar. And the pressure to choose one, it's just immense.
This is the question, isn't it? The one that echoes through those years. It's this intense, urgent search to figure out who she is, what she stands for, and what path she wants to walk. A path that's separate from her parents, separate from her friends.
Now, if she can successfully navigate this fog, she comes out with a solid sense of identity. It's like having her own internal compass. She develops fidelity, which basically means being true to herself. She knows who she is. But if she can't find that anchor, she's left with what Erikson called role confusion, just feeling lost, adrift, trying on a bunch of different masks, but not knowing which one, if any, is really her.
So after all that intense work figuring out me, Aida's journey naturally shifts toward we. As a young adult, she's standing at a new crossroads, and this is the question that defines it. It's all about forming deep, real, committed relationships. And this stage, maybe more than any other, is about courage. It's about taking the huge risk of being truly vulnerable with another person. And when you can do that, it leads to intimacy, and ultimately, to love. But if that fear of getting hurt is just too big, it leads to isolation. You build walls to keep people out, and you can end up feeling profoundly alone.
As Aida moves into her full adult life, the questions just get bigger. In her middle years, she faces generativity versus stagnation. She's asking herself, can I make my life count for something? And this isn't just about having kids, it's about contributing, mentoring someone at work, getting involved in her community, leaving some kind of positive mark on the world for the next generation. Get this right, and you feel a sense of purpose. Get it wrong, and you feel stagnation, like you're just stuck, unproductive. Then, finally, in her golden years, Aida faces the last great challenge: integrity versus despair. Looking back, she asks the ultimate question: was my life a meaningful one? If she can look at her whole story, the good, the bad, all of it, and feel a sense of peace, she achieves integrity and true wisdom. But if all she feels is regret, she faces despair.
So why does this map, this journey of Aida's, still matter so much to us today? Well, because it reminds us that we never stop growing. It shows us how important our relationships and our communities are at every age. It's a powerful tool for therapists and teachers. And maybe most importantly, it shows us that life isn't just a series of random events. It's a journey with real meaning, with moral and existential weight.
And that brings us to that final, profound question from the very last stage. But I want to reframe it and ask it directly to you. When you look back on your own journey, with all its triumphs and all its heartaches, all its wins and all its losses, was it okay to have been you? Erikson's map suggests that finding a way to say yes to that question, well, that's the greatest wisdom a life can offer.